everyone, and welcome to Quest, a journey into true crime and the paranormal. I'm your host, Misti Gaither, and I am so excited, y'all, to have with me right here on the big screen. I have with me Michael John Angus of Southern Heat Paranormal. And let me tell you, I am so excited. I've been looking forward to talking with you.
Yes.
I want to know about all the firefighting and the EMT stuff. And of course, we're going to wrap up in the paranormal. We're going to get there. But the
That's
reason,
the boring stuff, but we want the juice first, huh?
right. We're going,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I'll interweave it into,
Yeah, yeah.
a tapestry
Yeah.
here. But what some people may not know is I am actually in well, not the firefighter field, but I actually have worked, I'm not going to say how many years, for an ambulance service.
Oh
So,
wow.
yeah. So we could start a business for ourselves, and
Yeah,
you
let's
could
do
go
it.
out and like do all the work and firefighting and driving the ambulances and
Mm-hmm.
working the back and all that. And I'll just send you the people the bill.
That'll be good. That's easy enough.
Yeah.
It'll be
So
fun for a while.
it would be just for a while. And then you would say, oh,
Yeah.
I'm doing all the hard work and you're just sending out a
You're just the
bill.
billing person, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have to, like work out all the bugs and get back with you on
Right.
that. Yeah. I started going live every Monday on the channel.
YouTube.
Yeah, on the YouTube. You got to say the YouTube,
The.
right? Like the
It's like an
Google
old
and
person.
right, like the old person, like the Google, the YouTube. And next week, I had announced on this show, on Monday's live show, that next week I'm actually doing about healthcare and the paranormal. And kind of having some people
Sure.
to come on the live and talk about, their experiences
Mm-hmm.
and different
Mm-hmm.
things. And so, is there anything do you like that has like kind of stands out to you in your career as a firefighter? Like seeing somebody in a blaze or like anything that's really happened that stood out to you.
Well, that's funny you asked that because for most people that are in the paranormal, they had a incident that happened that maybe they saw an apparition or, lived in a haunted house or had a history of dealing with hauntings their whole life and they wanted more answers. Mine was sort of the opposite. And what I mean by that is mine wasn't so much the paranormal that led me into the paranormal. It was my job and what I did for years in the fire service that led me to the paranormal. So mine's like a whole different scenario rather than most people. And when you say that, it makes me think of, when I first started years and years ago as a volunteer. I mean, I was young, and one of the first calls I ever had, we had a lady and her husband fell off a bridge in a Jeep. It was like an old railroad trestle that was converted to like a trail you could walk. Well, it was December, it was winter, and they were on this railroad trestle for God knows what reason in this Jeep. And the guy was trying to turn around while he come off the side of it and fell like 40 feet to the ground.
Wow.
We get there and the top of the Jeep is snapped off. It's like a hard top. She's laying in it and basically dying. And we sort of looked at each other and as she passed, and then we never had got her back. But it was that point I think in my career that started the whole paranormal journey. Unlike most, like I said before, that had an interaction with some type of spirit or a haunting, mine's like completely different. And then throughout my career, I mean, geez, 30 plus years, I've had a lot of stuff happen that I couldn't explain. And I think then I played it off. It
Hmm.
was just like, my brain just saying, okay, it's, just your head. It's not what you think it is. And they reached out. I think it was a lot of them, the other side, whatever you believe in, were trying to reach out to me
Hmm.
to communicate for them, to be the catalyst for their voice. And it took me a long time to figure all that out. And I had an instance one time. Now we speak about that. We were at a place. The guy had chest pain, crushing chest pain, and he was sitting on the other bed. And he said, "Man, I don't think I'm going to make it. I don't think I'm going to make it." This was years ago, before cell phones and all that kind of stuff. And he literally fell back in the bed and went into cardiac arrest. So when the medic put the heart monitor on him, he was in V-fib, so she shocked him. and still VFib. And she shocked him again, and he slowly come back with a pulse. And after he got more conscious and could verbalize, he said, "Man," he said, "I was yelling at you guys." He said, "I could hear and see everything you were doing, but you
What?
wouldn't stop because I knew it was going to hurt when you shocked me." So basically, he was out of his body watching us do this to him. And after we brought him back, he was telling us, I mean, there's no way he would have known and
Right.
say what we said, to see from that. So that's one thing that really stood out. And just the years of running. I was on a school shooting in Penn State in 1996, the Hub Lawn. Lady Julian took a gun onto the Hub Lawn and hid in the bushes and shot and killed one lady. Shot and hit another guy in the abdomen. But you can imagine that energy. I actually transported her to the hospital to
Did
shoot
you?
her. Yeah,
Wow.
that was in 1996.
Yeah,
But I mean,
yeah.
again, not knowing. Yeah, I mean, nobody was. I mean, obviously there was unfortunately a fatality, but just all that energy there and
Sure.
emotions and just stuff throughout the years, and I just never. I mean, I believed in ghosts, and I always thought, there was always something there. And of course, all the ghost shows come out. I'd occasionally watch them and was interested in, and for what I've seen over the years, I figured something was more than just this.
Right.
After we passed, and man, it's been a long time, seen a lot of stuff, and now here I am. It's really led me to a full circle, and
Right.
I'm fortunate to actually. And a lot of people say, doesn't that freak you out? You've been in all these situations, don't you get scared? And all the stuff that you've seen, and it's like, yeah, but I'm was put there for a reason. So I'm thankful, even for the crap that I went through and the stuff that I did see all those years. I'm thankful that I was put in that position, whether it was a good outcome or bad outcome, to continue me on my path and to put me where I'm at today and be able to go out and speak with people. And like you were just saying about healthcare providers and the paranormal, people come up to me nonstop and say, you wouldn't believe what happened to me. Or, hey, my dad was a fireman.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I want to hear. Generally, at any old fire station is haunted. And I'm sure, living where you live,
Oh,
all
yeah.
is the old city. You can imagine what, how much energy has stained over the years and absorbed into that stuff that's still around or clinging to something, so it's almost like a residual, or I don't know. I always tell myself I'm marked from the other side, from being between a veil to being close to that other veil when someone passes. That
Right.
I think spirits know your intentions. So I think they know when I come in there that, like, hey man, this guy maybe might know something, or seen something or two, or I don't know. It's just a theory of mine, but
I believe it.
sorry, I'm rambling on. Go ahead if
Oh,
you have
no, no, no. You're not rambling at all. I'm enjoying listening to you and the stories and
I can talk for hours. That's why I
uh,
try to keep a piece of paper and
we're
an
doing
iPad.
a telethon here. And as we go into our eighth hour,
You need
yeah.
to flash a little thing at the bottom
Oh,
of
yeah.
the screen.
Donate here.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Remember that? Was it who was it? Jerry,
Jerry
what was the big
Lewis,
telethon they used to
the
do?
MDA, Jerry Lewis telethon.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
they would have like talent on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you would, he'd come on talk, and they would have, unfortunately, people that were sick
Mm-hmm.
speak, but then people would come on and do like a skit or sing. I guess they
Yeah.
don't do that no more.
Well,
We need to do.
I was thinking about it would be cool to do one like for some place that needed a restoration or something and have a
Yeah, see, that's
actual
perfect.
an actual telethon. Yeah, that would be
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. That, and people have no clue. Even the
No,
younger generation would have no clue what you're even.
well,
What,
my mother told me no. No, I remember a few of the Jerry Lewises, to be
no, I
honest
was
with you.
younger, but I
Right. Well,
remember
yeah,
them.
it wasn't
I
like,
remember them.
yeah, it was definitely a thing. Um, now, you were saying, and I did want to bring that up about the Penn State shooting, and
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know how you were saying, the stain of it, and that's, I think, a very good analogy or description of what it does is when somebody that does that, we can say, oh, mental health, and yes, that may play a part into it, but I'm sure as many of the cases and the psych calls that you have,
Hmm.
there's some people that have mental issues, and then there's
Correct.
some that have what I call a little extra
Yeah.
with theirs. Does these and you went on other disasters too,
Hmm.
and so,
Katrina.
well, oh, you were here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was here
Yeah.
too during it, and working and
Yeah. I
and
was
doing the
mainly
thing.
Mississippi, but yeah, I was through there. Yeah.
And that definitely, I mean, Katrina left a stain, but it just wasn't on the city of New Orleans. It was on the people, and even like you said,
Correct.
people who came to help and to volunteer
Sure.
and because what happens is, okay, you think about Katrina, and excuse me while I go down the rabbit hole just for a
No,
second,
no, go
okay?
ahead. Go ahead.
So you think about it, Katrina happened. I was here in the city, live, work, you were volunteering. And so you think about, how, we were bringing people to the airport, and it was a huge triage area. And
Hmm.
they would be triaged, and, and I was out there too, and having to, bring people in and stuff. And I know the effect that it had on me. And then I'm thinking, okay, so we got the people in the triage, and then what they would do is from the airport, they would bust them out or send them out to other places.
Hmm.
And
Yes.
so the stain and the mark that Katrina put on it, like, was not just confined
Sure.
to New Orleans. I mean,
Right.
the some people are still not healed from it
Correct. Oh
almost
yeah.
20 years later,
Yeah.
and I
It'll
mean,
be 20. It'll be 20 years.
yeah.
2025.
And so,
Yeah.
like, we still have the blighted properties that still 20 years
Yeah.
later are still just like, oh, well, I guess they'll get to it one century, because it's not anything. But my point was, that with a stain that caused, Katrina caused so much, and then it just kind of, I'm trying to think of the right word, just kind of ebbed out everywhere,
Hmm.
kind of flowed.
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying. Right.
Yeah, and it's just amazing how, and then you're talking about the Penn State, and I mean, and then like she rode in the ambulance with you, and that, and you're like, okay, that stain, the ambulance, like all that
Right.
energy.
Energy. Yep.
I think we take for granted, or we really don't do our due diligence to learn more about actual energy and what
Hmm.
causes,
Like
like,
energy transfer.
yeah, the transfer, and just her
Right.
being in the, like, does it have repercussions, or does it have outliners of
Hmm.
like, if the energy isn't taken care of in a positive way, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Does it reach out to others, or am I just like totally down this rabbit hole by myself with a
No,
cigarette?
and that plays into something that I see constantly, and it even happens to all of us. And it's almost a side effect of that. Maybe not so much as far as paranormal, but causing PTSD in first responders and healthcare workers is that constant exposure to that energy, and not so much negative energy, just that, the high energy, high emotion situations and stuff that you don't want to see that you have to see. And I think that leads to, suicide, mental health, PTSD. And I mean, I see it all the time. I mean, I've dealt with it, I mean, there's times that I'm like, what's wrong with you? And
Yeah.
I think that's part of that too. Like you're saying, what I mean? Like that energy, that stain that just keeps going from one thing to the next. Yeah, for sure.
And it's important for self care, spiritual hygiene, because,
Yes.
now that I'm thinking about it, like, ambulance services or hospitals or, fire stations or whatever, nursing homes, whatever that it is,
Hmm.
people don't think, well, maybe we need to have a cleansing, or like, even like our employees, maybe we need to, maybe not get
I
all
know.
into the woo woo, like some people
No,
be
I know
like,
what
oh
you're
no,
saying.
but
Right.
you know what I mean, like
Right.
maybe to teach how to be able
De-
to not carry
decompress.
that home, and and
Right.
then it goes from here and it goes from there, and kind of stop it in self care. I think that that's
Right.
really important.
And that leads to stuff, if you take it home with you, it leads to addictions, drug addiction, spousal abuse, violence, porn addiction.
Sure.
I mean, you name it. It could lead to anything. It's not good. Not
Yeah.
good. And I think me finding the paranormal was sort of an out for that. Like I could work with my friend and we could go out and do stuff, relive some of the stuff that we went through and go out and investigate and have a little bit of fun and
Sure.
try to get some questions answered to what we've seen and done and don't know. So, and I encourage, guys that want to do it to, come or go do it or, whatever, just get out and enjoy stuff to get away from it. So it's been an out for me. I tried a lot of things over the years and there's a lot of stuff I like to do besides chase ghosts or try to figure out what's on the other side. But to
Such
me,
as.
obviously filmmaking is one of my
Well,
favorites
I was
now.
about to bring that, actually, that
Yeah.
subject of spooky entertainment. Is that you? Okay,
Yeah.
I thought so. But I mean, you could have had like a, I don't know, like a
Yeah, I
T-shirt.
know.
Yeah, no,
I,
you got to get with it. But spooky entertainment. I mean, you actually went and are producing films and you're producing shows, and I believe that my research shows that you're with Beacon Stream TV,
yes,
and
I am thinking.
you got a lot going on. Tell me about some films that you're working on and anything you're not supposed to tell me but can.
Yeah, well, some stuff I can go into. Beacon started back in July. Prior to that, I was putting stuff on YouTube. We would out and film paranormal investigations, basically East Coast, mid United States. We would go out and film us investigating all the normal hot spots that most people have gone to. We've been to and filmed that, so I enjoy that. Of course, I live near Josh Purvis, like a half hour, so me and him are really good friends. And
The Peach
when
State.
the Peach State, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then Beacon was born. Kind of weird because how that all started is we were doing a fundraiser in Old South Pittsburgh Hospital for a gentleman last December. And we met Mike Cook there.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike had this huge switching thing that he could switch with all these cameras and monitor. This crazy thing that he built. And anyways, Josh and him sort of had like a bromance about it and talked and July come around. Oh, even before July, Beacon was born, but it was released in July. But anyways, so I've been on the road with them since last January, off and on. Filmed Paranormal with a Normal and some other stuff. And then the reboot of Holzer Files is coming.
I saw
Uh,
that. I'm so excited.
yeah,
Paranormal
yeah.
Mysteries.
Paranormal Mysteries, yeah.
Yes, can't wait.
Shane, Cindy,
Yes.
and Dave all back together again. So
Yeah.
that'll be
Got the
pretty cool.
band
So
back
that
together.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that kicks off and we start it's in pre-production now
Mm.
and then we'll start filming hardcore starting January. About the first or second week of January, we'll get on the road and start filming now. We want to try to film sometime, like actually a film. So we're excited about maybe doing something in the future with that. I like, and I think this is what drew me to Josh and them. With Beacon and with me, we like a good finished product, and we don't want to just rush something to get it out there. So we put a lot of time and a lot of hours in doing shots and redoing shots and making sure everything's set right. And we want to make sure the subscriber is satisfied, our customer.
Sure.
So the finished product means a lot. So sometimes maybe I get a little over picky with stuff, but I do enjoy it a lot. Though I enjoy watching other people succeed, and I like to setting the shots up and obviously recording and videoing and
I tell you what, you're busy. You already got next year pretty popping. I know
right.
you of course are going to be in Hotlanta, and that's in
Yeah,
March.
yeah.
March, and then are you coming to Cajun Country
Of
Paracon?
course,
All right,
of
I will
course.
see you in April then
I
for
know. I
sure.
love
Yeah,
it.
woo, I
Yeah,
do
I
the
love it.
wave.
I think you're the second one, like March, and then you guys, and then the
Booze on the battleship.
yeah. Did you
Yeah.
see that?
See,
Katie
look.
McVeigh.
Yep, Katie McVeigh, great friend.
Yeah.
April the 26th on the USS Carolina. Uh, uh,
Yes.
it's not official. I may be joining y'all.
Sweet. I would love that.
It would be really cool, and we would have to
Yes.
sing "Sweet Caroline" since we'll.
Oh
Yeah, maybe.
yeah.
No, but seriously, I mean, you have a lot going on. I
Yeah,
mean,
for sure.
I think that's a blessing. I think that is so cool. And you know what? And it's also a testament of what you mean to the field. And you know, when you have a good heart and you go in with good intentions, and you know, it comes back to you. You
Right.
know?
And that's all we ever wanted. We
Yeah.
never got into this to be famous, to make millions of dollars. We just wanted to took what we did in our field is in the fire service and give it back to the
Right.
people, and that's how we investigate. You know what I mean? We're open. We're there to solve a problem or figure something out. We want to see and help as much as we can on both sides. So yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited, man.
Yeah.
I'm
It's like stacking up. It's really cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
I guess.
Well, like you know, a lot of
Yeah,
appearances and stuff is pretty cool. But let me ask you
yeah,
this:
yeah.
when can we read the book?
I know. I did an article for Ghosted magazine.
Did you? I love April's
Yeah,
been on the show. I love her and
yeah.
Michael. Oh my
It
God.
was the anniversary edition.
Okay. Okay.
I wrote a small article about
Mhm.
fire service and the paranormal. But yeah, it's in their anniversary, 1 year anniversary. Because then we went to the super soiree
Yeah, I
on
saw
the
that.
yeah. What's up with the battleships,
I don't
right?
know. It's like you're like won't have a check them off. Have a little thing.
Yeah,
Okay, got this one done. You know, USS Alabama will be next, and you just go through and all the
yeah.
ships. You know.
But yeah, I'm working that angle with the book. I really want to get it out there, even if it reaches one person and helps one person. You know, it's well worth the venture
I
to
was
do it and put it out there. I don't know if it doesn't sell, if it sells 10 copies, whatever. Again, I'm not in it to be any financial gains. You know, I'm in it to lead a person to where they need to be, and if it helps one person, then that's enough reward in the end for me.
Well, you know what? You said it perfectly just then, and I can't really add or take away or anything to that. I think that's great. And,
Yeah,
you know, I do appreciate you being a guest on the show. I look forward to seeing you in, well, April. I hope I get to see you
April, yeah,
twice in
soon. It'll
April.
be here
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah, it's going to
Yeah,
be here before we know it. Thank you,
yeah.
everyone, for watching. If you can, please hit that subscribe button. Be sure to go to Michael John Angus. His information is going to be here, so you know, be sure to go show some love and support there too, and also, you know, to stream Beacon TV as well because they have a lot of great content. So everybody, thank you so much for joining us tonight, and I'll see you next week. Have a good one.